Good evening. I'm a veterinarian who practices in Porter Ranch here, and I've been here since 1993, and I have seen dozens of cases of pets being ill or becoming ill, and I do believe they're related to the exposure to the gas based on the proximity of where they live to the exposure and the higher gas levels. I've seen dogs, cats, birds, some of the what were called pocket pets. It's impossible to do a test to say it definitely is related. It's more of a clinical judgment. The primary symptoms I've seen are gastrointestinal vomiting primarily. Had one dog actually had a torsion, I think was related to it, which is where the stomach flips on itself, not a good thing. We've seen quite a few respiratory problems, particularly in cats and birds. Birds are very sensitive to respiratory irritants and toxins. And I do agree with the earlier assessments. The only good solution is treat symptoms and remove the pets from the exposure as much as possible, especially the chronic exposure. Nobody educated believes that chronic exposure to hydrocarbons is a good thing for anyone. These are not things you should be inhaling. And I do believe that in the long run, not everybody's going to be able to move out of Porter Ranch. They're going to have to find a way to stop this leak from occurring and probably abandon that field up there. That's just my non-expert opinion. We have seen dermatologic issues as well, some very unusual bacterial infections in dogs. And interestingly enough, one client had a dog had this very unusual bacterial infection on its face. And the client developed almost the exact same kind of symptoms very soon after that. Actually, two people in the house did. And their doctor thinks, their physician thinks it's related. And so I tend to think these correlations are real. So I don't have any scientific backing on this, and I don't think, I've looked and I don't see a lot of real science out there on this chronic exposure, especially among the pets. But I would encourage people to remove the pets, if you can, from the chronic exposure. And of course, I think that applies to the people as well. So, but symptoms definitely can be treated, but we can't, I don't think these filtration systems are likely to be all that helpful, although I may be wrong, but I would be very surprised to find that. So anyway, if anybody has any questions, feel free to contact me, and best of luck and happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.